And ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live, and this jump starts a new era, a new era. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday. And thank you so much for tuning in to Transformation Greatness along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is your host here, Shawn A. White, and we are starting out with a new series, which is called Servant Leader Podcast Series. And this is something in which it's going to be a lot of fun. And I believe that it is fitting for at the right time as we close out 2025. These individuals that will be gracing us during this time frame are people in which, in my opinion, are heart-centered led. They are entrepreneurs. These are passionate individuals in which they have a love to service and for helping individuals through their own unique and special way. And so this is going to be very, very fun. And I also even believe for myself would be very therapeutic as well. So believe me, I'm going to be benefiting from this as well. So do me a favor, if you will, as we're in episode 545 of this podcast. If you're catching this live, put on a hashtag live. Let us all know exactly where you're tuning in from. And if you should happen to catch this on a replay, please go ahead and put in hashtag replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But more importantly, what value or insights that you're about to receive from this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right is someone in which I have had the opportunity to know now for a number of years. I have seen her growth and transformation, if you will. It is truly remarkable, truly special to see. Just the resilience of it all, and just to be able to use the information in which that she has gathered to really create such a amazing community. She is someone that's truly a servant leader. I mean, she is someone that I call Miss Professional for a reason. And believe me, it's just you're in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. So if I was you, please make sure you have your pen and papers ready and be willing to take down some notes and even ask questions. But with no further ado, we have here the one and only Mrs. Yolanda Kennerly, the founder of Magnetic Client Attraction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome here to the podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sean. This is so much fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we even get started with it, if you don't mind doing us a favor, just tell us a little bit about you and what you do, and then we'll jump into this thing.
Perfect. Well, like he said, my name is Yolanda Kennerly. I became an empty nester, and well, our household became empty nesters about 2 years ago. And it was definitely a transition in my life because when I first came to the online space, I was 53 years old. I had previously went through the whole craziness of the mortgage industry, which I was a mortgage broker. And what happened was I really needed a way to continue to earn income for my family. So I came to the online space at the age of 53. I saw a woman that was around my age talking all about you can do live video and you can grow a business online. So immediately I jumped into her course. It was $97. She started to teach me on how to do live video. And I just want to share something here, just in case you're like, oh my gosh, live video. My very first live video, I was sideways. Okay. Literally sideways, introducing myself. But you know what? The reason why I didn't quit, it was a 7-day live video challenge. And the reason why I didn't quit, even though I was sideways in that video, is because I had a desire to succeed. I had a desire to help people because for my previous business, I was a mortgage broker. I was helping people to buy their first home, which was such a beautiful thing when you have a dream home and somebody is able to help you and walk you through it. It's a beautiful experience. So I did my 7-day live video on my fourth video that I did. And I was learning, by the way, I was not a professional. I actually didn't even know you could do video on your phone on Facebook. By the end of the 7-day live video challenge, I had made $600. How? Yolanda, how did you do that? Well, because she had an affiliate program attached to it, she said, if you invite ladies to come and take part of that, because that's who I was connecting with, then I will pay you out 50%. So it was about 45 bucks or something like that, right? By the end of that, I made $600. I took that $600, I invested it to go to an event in Texas to learn more about how I can grow my skill sets so that I can learn more about how to make money online. So that has been actually my story. When I first came online, I had a teenager. So for those that say I have kids and I can't grow a business because I have kids, I had a teenager, and what I did for her, I put a note in the door and I said, "You cannot come in when this door is closed. This means I'm working, I'm learning, and I'm applying what I'm being taught." So that can be an excuse to hold you back, or you can use that something to propel you forward. So I just wanted to share that because a lot of times we take things that, like for example, I'm doing it for my children, but then we use our children to not actually show up on social media. So
Mm.
that's a little bit of my story.
Well said, and thank you for sharing that as well. And since that this is a Southern Leader podcast series, one of the things in which I know a lot of people would want to know is that, in your opinion, what makes you or consider you being a servant leader?
Well, I believe that a servant leader puts people first, period. And for me, it's about showing up with intention to help someone rise to who they actually were meant to be. Like if they have that deep desire. So I want to be there to help them, to propel them to the next level. I actually tell a lot of my coaches, a lot of my clients, I want you to go further and faster than I ever did. So the first thing that I do is I listen deeply and I meet them where they're at and I guide them in the way that will empower them to trust themselves again. Because there's a reason why you have that desire within you. Okay, so my work isn't about being above anyone, it's about walking beside them so that they can move with clarity, confidence, and purpose.
You know what? You said something that was very profound, and I think about that as well, and I think that's the reason why I consider myself to be a servant leader as well. It's because I'm very passionate about the people, and it's all about how can I serve, how can I make an impact in someone's life, and just by you articulating that, that sounds like you as well. And you mentioned as far as giving clarity to that. I think that's very important, especially in this business of being an entrepreneur, because if you don't have that clarity, then you're always going to find yourself being around like a Ferris wheel, if you will. And you're going to find yourself in like a lot of pit holes, I guess, if you will, because you are unaware, you don't have that clarity, right? And so I guess it's something, and this is not part of a question I have for you, but I guess then why do you think that so many people, they know they need the clarity, they need someone like yourself, but for whatever reason, they're very hesitant?
I think the reason why a lot of people sometimes are hesitant is because they don't actually have a vision.
Mm.
Without a vision, the people perish,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So vision brings clarity to whatever it is that you're going to put your hands to. So one of the things that I did is very simple. I'm a very simple girl. Okay. So what I did is immediately when I started to learn how to do live video, the next thing that I did was I started to serve others to learn how to do live video themselves. I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just made it a little bit better, right? And so I actually served hundreds, maybe even thousands of entrepreneurs that didn't know how to do live video to actually learn how to introduce themselves in the video, how to deliver their content on the video, how to do a call to action. Those were the skills, okay? The skills that they needed to learn so that way when they showed up on social media, they were confident and they had clarity about what they were doing. So it's real simple. Write the vision. If you don't have a vision, you will follow all types of people that maybe are not in alignment to the clarity or the vision that you have, that you need, the clarity that you need to have, but they're not in alignment with the vision that you want to bring to the marketplace. So I
No,
believe that that's it.
no, 1,000%. I remember when you created something like that, and I remember your marketing. I was like, you know what, that is so genius because it's simple, easy to follow, easy to understand. And when a person does that, the way they show up now on social media is it's just like night and day, but you kept it very, very simple. And I love that approach. And I think I reached out to you and I think I told you that as well, if I'm not mistaken, though. And so I know that's something, but by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking, to become more confident, especially with your stage presence on social media, definitely Miss Professional is the one right here to get in contact with. I'm just saying. Let me ask you this. In your profession, what is the most aspect that truly makes you stand out? And the reason why I asked you that question, because we can get into this, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, comparison, um, what's that word I'm looking for? Like a comparison analysis, if you will, or like saying like, man, you know what, Yolanda, she's just so articulate. I mean, she got her stuff together. It's like, I don't know if I can do that. Or basically, me and her is in the same niche or industry. Like, who want to listen to me versus with her because she has it all together. What would you say would be a component of you that makes you stand out from others that may be in the same industry or the same field doing exactly on what you're doing?
Well, I'm just going to share with you that I did fall into the imposter syndrome.
There you go, passenger. That's what I was looking for. Thank
I
you.
used to look at other women that were rocking their business when I was just a beginner. I had just started. There was no way that I could, I mean, I was really putting myself in a danger zone by comparing myself with somebody that had been in the game for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what I decided to do was I'm going to blend strategy, the strategy that I know, and my intuition. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can duplicate my intuition. I cannot duplicate anybody else's intuition. And then I combine those two that are rare. You don't see that very often,
Right.
right? Because most people will teach you marketing from the neck up,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
What's next? Like, they don't really go within, because whatever is inside of you, okay, that needs to show out outside, because that's who you really are. There's
Correct.
no way that you can compare yourself to anyone, and there's no way that nobody can copy you, because it's your own intuition. So I teach it
Mhm.
from a whole energy system. Okay, your own energy. Okay, I help entrepreneurs get aligned internally so their content, their offers, and their messaging actually attracts the right people instead of chasing people. So I don't
Mm.
sugarcoat, I don't fluff things. I make sure that they take action, and they take imperfect action. Okay. And then
Mm.
also, it's energetically sound, because when you hear your voice and you're speaking to your audience, that is the genuine you. And authenticity is huge in the marketplace. If people feel like you're trying to be someone else, they will tune you off in a heartbeat, even though they might
Agreed.
not know that other person.
Agreed.
That's not who you are. So I always say, get paid to be you, my friend.
Agreed. Man, big time. You hit something right on the button. You said being authentic. And I remember when I first started out, I was in that same frame, right? I seen a lot of people that were basically doing on what I wanted to do, and I'm like, man, there's no way that I can even compete with them. But I was looking at it from the wrong lens instead of looking at it from, okay, based upon with the gifts and talents that God has given me, how can I be my true authentic self and yet still get the message out there? And when I shifted that perspective, which by the way, it took a lot of inner work, a ton of inner work, and still doing the work to this day. But when I shifted with that, man, just it was just very interesting. I had people that was messaging me and texting me and wanting to work with me and wanting what I had to offer, and I was like, interesting.
And I want to say something. I want to say something here, Shawn. I saw that growth in you. I saw when you came online and you were serving your people and you're serving them with such compassion. You
Absolutely.
are you're a leader that leads with compassion. And there's a huge need for that. But it doesn't mean that the way that you lead with compassion is identical to somebody else that leads with compassion.
Hmm.
And so, as long as we are just being who God created us to be, nobody can take that from us, right? And
Correct.
you're going to attract the people that were meant for you.
That's a
And
big
that's
one.
the beautiful thing that we actually end up because we attract who we are. You're going to attract servant leaders. You're going to attract compassionate leaders. You're going to attract those people that want to lead and can actually tune into your message and they can go and do greater things.
Absolutely, 1,000%, 1,000%. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, welcome here to episode 54 of Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. We have here the one and only Miss Yolanda Kennerly, the founder of Magnetic Client Attraction. And she is, without a doubt, in my estimation, the epitome of what a servant leader is. I hope that you guys are really getting a lot of great notes and nuggets, in which, believe me, she's done dropped many. But I also know, too, is that the person that listens to this, they will take it and run with it. That I do know for a fact. Yolanda, I'm very curious. Where did this passion of yours truly stem from? Because I think that you talked about it a little bit in the beginning of our interview, but maybe you can go in just a little bit more on where that passion came from and why is it still here today? That's a big one.
Yes. Yes. Well, it came from my own journey of trying to figure it out alone, right? Because at first I
Mm.
tried to figure it out by myself.
Right.
And I think by the grace of God, this lady just came across my Facebook profile. So
Mm.
I know what it feels like to have a drive or a desire, but not to have a direction,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And the vision that I put in place brought that clarity to me because I wrote it down on a piece of paper. This is what I want to create. And then once I found the tools that shifted my mindset, my energy, my business changed. So it was really like my own journey and seeing how whenever somebody would, be in front of me, let's say we had a Zoom call or whatever, they were literally me just a couple of maybe a year,
Right.
behind me or maybe a
Yes,
couple of
ma'am.
months behind me,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So helping others rise and become who they truly are was really the reason why I feel like this is how I became so passionate about it. It's purpose driven, not performance driven.
Hmm. Say that last part again. You said what now?
It's purpose driven, not performance driven.
What a mindset shift. Purpose driven versus performance driven. Do you know what you just said? It can shake so many people's ideologies, especially on social media, because you're saying, if I'm hearing this correctly, that it's really about the service itself versus the performance versus the amounts of money or leaderboards that a person can accomplish. Is that what you're saying? If
Yes,
not, then clarify.
yes. Purpose means that you have a purpose in whatever happens. Let's say you do hit the leaderboards, which I've hit the leaderboard many a times, right?
Hmm.
That is just the icing on the cake. Like if you're going to get a trophy, here's trophy, right? That's just icing on the cake. Because
Okay.
what really satisfied me, yes, that gave me my ego boost,
Right.
right?
Right.
Okay. But
Absolutely.
really what the passion that I had was to help other, like not just help, but see other people actually have success. That was
Yes.
my purpose.
Yes. Yes. That to me, I find to be very, very priceless. And I'll be honest with you guys on here. When you get to that point where you just see the transformation and growth in an individual, it's really to me, it makes my soul satisfying, and it just revalidates on the why that I have and the vision that's been given to me by the Most High. And it's just like, man, so this is what it's really all about. And for me, you just get it fuels me, it re-energizes me, and it makes me want to go harder. It makes me want to be able to try this particular project or venture, right? And not even worrying about whether it works or not, because that's irrelevant, but just knowing that you're just adding on another layer to truly helping someone. That to me, it gives me the greatest joy. And I'm pretty sure it does for you as well, correct?
Most definitely. One of the things that I always share with people is if you love what you do, you will never be broke.
Very true.
Because when you love what you do, the money follows, which is purpose, right? When
Yes,
you're really truly showing up as your authentic self, serving others for their well being, the money will follow,
indeed. It's a universal principle. It's
right?
a universal principle. Yolanda, this question I know personally, but I'm pretty sure people may want to know this. When others speak of you, this is a good one. When others speak of you, what would they say about Miss Professional's character?
Wow. I would have to say that the one thing that I hear over and over again is when people say, Yolanda, you get me. Like you really see who I can become. And also, I impart my belief into them until they start believing in themselves.
Hmm. I would have to agree with that. I would definitely have to agree with that. From the times that even when me and you spoke, and it was at certain points where maybe I was kind of down or maybe confused about something, I can say that as a testament, that is 100% correct. That is in fact correct. You are something special, and in my opinion, you are so much needed as far as in the marketplace. And so, yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in, welcome once again to another exclusive episode here on Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is episode 545, and we have here entrepreneur extreme, Miss Yolanda Kennerly, the founder of Magnetic Client Attraction. And she is someone that I definitely admire, to say the least, and definitely be putting the time in. And not only does she talk the talk, but she walks it out as well. So if you haven't followed her, I recommend for you to do so. Definitely reach out to her afterwards if you're interested in anything which that she has going on. I can definitely tell you that it will be one of those things that you'll be so happy that you took the time out to invest in yourself. I'm gonna leave it at that. As a heart-centered entrepreneur, why is leading with service important? I believe you touched bases on that a little bit, but maybe if you can expand a little bit more. Why is leading with service versus what's in it for me, if you will, more important?
I'm going to go a little deeper on this one, Sean, because people can feel your energy before they
Mm,
hear your words. When you lead with service, you create connections, trust, and genuine impact. When you lead with ego or desperation, people pull away, right?
mm, mhm,
Service is the frequency that opens doors, opportunities, and relationships.
mm,
And honestly, we really, as an entrepreneur, the one thing we have to really pay attention to is our energy because your heart is pounding because of the energy that is within it, right? So people feel our hearts. For example, if you walk into a room and there has been a little argument, when you walk in, you don't even know what had happened in that room, but yet you can feel something happen and maybe it wasn't a good, you feel like, oh. something happened here. You don't know what
Right.
it is, right?
Right. Right.
So your intuition is so on point, and people can feel that. That's why
Mm.
when you are a servant leader, you really have to make sure that your energy is in the right place. So, example, prayer takes you to that zone of energy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Compassion,
Yes,
love,
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Giving, loving, no matter what, right? It takes you to that place because we change our energy based on what we're doing. If we've just had an argument with someone and tried to post online, tell me how that post will do. It'll flop every time.
Exactly. 1,000%.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm the kind of person that if I know that I'm not in that space, in that good, you know, energetic place for myself, if I'm not creative, I will not post for that day. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, I wasn't feeling it. Like I was just, just not feeling it. And I did not post. And um, did I beat myself up for that? No, I actually gave myself grace.
Mm.
And there's times that we need to give ourselves grace because a lot of us are competing on these social media streets and it's only hurting us instead of helping us to help others.
Right. Right. But do you feel that, okay, let me see how I can frame this. Because I get exactly what you're saying. And yet there's so many individuals I see in these social media streets because they have a strategy attached already to it. It's like, okay, well, I gotta be consistent, even though I'm feeling like, like that this hurts, or I'm going through something that's very detrimental, but I still gotta post it. I still gotta fake it till I make it, right? I mean, I got to because my coach told me, or whatever have you. But based upon of what you're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that you don't want to do that because of your energy, it would convey something different. Is that correct? Or am I completely off base and I missed it?
No, you are perfect. You're correct. And I can just explain it this way, right?
Sure.
If I were to come on social media and if I were to create a post because I have to create that post, you got to think about
Okay.
it. We get to serve other people. We don't have to. We get to. So
Mm,
when you post something that's actually going to be of service to somebody else, you will get the reaction to that. People will say, "Hey, Yolanda," they might not say it on the actual post, but they'll come around to my DMs and say, "Hey, Yolanda, I saw your post about XYZ. I saw your video about this. Like, how I want it, right?"
mm.
So I don't even have to close people because they close themselves.
Those themselves. Yes, ma'am.
And also, just to add to that, money is energy. So if you want to attract money, right, into your life, then you have to, we only get paid, you and I only get paid to solve people's problems,
That's correct.
right? So if
That's
I'm
correct.
on social media and I'm solving somebody's problem, the money has to come by law. And we're working with, we are energetic beings. That's why when they say you got filled with the Holy Spirit, what happens to you? You end up shaking, right? You
True.
shake, you shiver, you do the happy dance, the whatever is because boom, you just got ignited with the energy of God, right?
Absolutely.
And God is within. I always say the God in me says I need to do this, that, and the other, right? And so then when I do that, boom, it takes off. And it's the intuition. You have to listen to that small, still voice that is going to tell you this, do that, go here, go there, right? There's a lot of times when I would tell some of my students and some of my clients, I would say, listen, you do not have to post at 8 o'clock every single day,
That's right.
right? If you're
That's
not
right.
feeling it, if you've had a think about, okay, so let's just sidetrack a little bit. Think about
Sure.
those people that are in the highway and they got up, they hit their toe on a table at home, all the way to work, they're cursing everyone that they're going, passing by, because, and what happens that day is the worst day, and they actually end up having either an accident, they end up getting fired, they end up reprimanded at work. Why? Because it's that energy that they brought with them into that place. People don't want that and don't like it, and we can feel it a mile away,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
we have to make sure that we're energetically in alignment with our desire, with our vision. Because remember, our vision, we might see it way out there, right? Oh, I have a vision to build whatever, right? A network marketing company, coaching business, whatever that is. But the
Right.
reality is the vision's already within you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just waiting
Mm-hmm.
to be birthed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take energy. It's going to take your belief, your faith factor to bring it forward, right? Because we don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is powerful here. I mean, Yolanda's giving out free game. And if I were listening to something like this, a person, especially if a person is on live, I've learned this from a mentor a long time ago. If you're on a particular live stream or a podcast and the person on the other end is giving out information that you feel to be very invaluable, especially if you're getting that for free and you're not asking questions, then you really have to ask yourself, how serious are you about changing your current circumstances or your current situation? And when I adopted that, ever since then, which was many years ago, every single one that I've been on a part of in the audience, I would ask questions. Why? Because I want to know. Obviously, you have something that has been working, it has been tried and tested and true. And clearly, the thinking that I got up to that point has given me the results up to that point. So, what
Yes.
do I need to do to get to that next level? I need to connect with men and women such as Yolanda that has the blueprint, if you will, and ask questions.
Right.
Whether you're live or replay, there's no excuse. Guess what? If you found something that was very insightful on what she stated, but yet you need a little bit more clarification, reach out to Yolanda. I would definitely tell you that you'll be in great hands. And I'm going to leave it at that. Miss Yolanda, let me ask you this, because there's going to be individuals that's going to watch this podcast and they're going to say to themselves, like, man, you know what? I have been feeling like that recently, right? I love people, I want to serve, but I don't think that I may have the qualities of being a heart-centered individual. Can you explain to them what are some of the qualities, in your opinion, that makes up a heart-centered individual or a heart-centered entrepreneur, if you will?
Sure. And I'm going to give you some of the ones that I had to learn myself. Okay.
Sure.
Number one, listen more than you speak. That one is huge. You
Say
need
that
to
again. I'm
write
sorry.
that one down. Listen more than you speak.
Mm,
You have to listen to the people that you want to help instead of speaking at them, right? You want to lead from alignment, not pressure. That's why I say I don't post on social media. If I'm not having a good day, I am going to lead with alignment, not pressure to have to post or to have to be live. The next one is be honest, okay? Have integrity. Be honest with yourself first and foremost, right? Because if you're copying other people, it's going to show up, it's going to reflect. So be honest with yourself. But also, you want to show compassion. But without enabling people, we have to be compassionate with them, but we don't want to enable them. We want to empower them to move forward.
mm-hmm.
You also want to stay grounded because when we're not grounded, that's when clarity starts going. All our focus, which is whatever we focus on grows, right? So if we've been going in one direction and it's working, maybe it hasn't actually taken off like we want, but if you stay grounded and you continue in that path with the clarity that you have, eventually it will have a breakthrough for you.
Absolutely.
The one that I really want to hit on here too is take imperfect action.
Hmm. What do you
If
mean?
you're going to only take action because it's perfect, more than likely that thing is not going to work for you. Why? Because it's not coming from a heart centered individual. It's actually coming from somebody that wants perfection. And nobody likes perfection. Nobody on social media wants to see something so perfect that they cannot actually emulate themselves.
Ah, which is true.
Yes.
That's true. I'll give you that, definitely.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
you also want to hold space for people, right? But you also have to have standards. Integrity is huge on social media. If you say you're going to do, this event and you put it out there, and then all of a sudden, oh, I took out and I've seen this happen where they delete the event. People are like, what happened to the event? Well, it's not here. But the integrity factor is gone. Reputation can be gained very quickly, but it can also be gone very quickly.
That is true. I have seen that as well. I have seen that many, many times. Many times. Boy, you're all right about that. You're right about that. Hmm. Very interesting. Yolanda, any advice for this current generation or future generation that may want to do exactly the kind of work that you do or that we both do? Any advice that you would have for the current or for the near future?
Well, I'm going to hit again on the one that I hit on before, which is start now. Okay. Don't wait for perfection. It's never going to come. Okay. So don't wait for it. It's not coming. Don't wait until you feel ready. Clarity
Mm,
comes from doing, not dreaming, but doing. And whenever you're in whatever you're building, it's going to help you to tweak things so that they can be better. Like I said, right? When I first started, I did live video. I attended a live video event. I learned the skills on how to push the button, but then I
mhm.
made it better because I'm like, okay, well, I need to learn to introduce myself. I need to learn to, deliver my message. I need to learn how to do a call to action. So what I did, I tweaked it. And because I tweaked it and I felt, because I'm a teacher by heart, that's my gift. That's the gift God
Right,
gave me.
right.
And so I just tweaked it enough where I had thousands of people come through my events simply because I didn't wait till it was perfect. I just started tweaking it a little bit better and made it better and better and better. Also, you
Absolutely.
want to take care of your energy like it's your currency because it is. Okay.
Mm,
And
mm,
remember, you can't attract what you don't embody. You have
mm.
to embody whatever it is you want to do. For example, in your case, Shawn, you wanted to have a podcast. So you embodied being a podcaster
So yeah,
and you just went for it. And then you started tweaking and making it better and better. And that's
absolutely,
how you do it. So you're a
absolutely.
perfect example of that, by the way.
Thank you. I definitely do appreciate that, and I just want to add on that as well, ladies and gentlemen. The journey hasn't been easy, not by a long shot. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of interpersonal work. And I think that a lot of people they want to do a podcast or they want to do as far as on what you're doing, but they want to be smooth. They want to be easy, no complications, and just everybody's loving them and the money is just flowing. And the reality is this from what I found out in this journey, this thing called life is always going to take root. Things is always going to happen. I done got sick during this whole deal. I done lost loved ones, right? I done gotten to the point where I was literally homeless, during this journey. A little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. But like you mentioned, when you have that passion to serve, I don't know about you all, but it's been many times on this journey where I just wanted to quit and give up. And yet that small voice would just nudge me here, nudge me there, give me an idea here, bring an individual to talk to me, which I didn't know from a can of paint, but yet would present me with an idea, with a concept, a different way of looking at the situation. And if my name is not Shawn A. White, I tell you, because of the level of belief and because of that vision and that purpose to serve was still deeply rooted in my spirit and my heart, that's when things, it just manifested the way in which that it was supposed to have been. So everything in which that you stated, Miss Yolanda, is 1,001%. And I think that if people were to just sit back and just ask the question of how can I serve and who can I serve, and be genuine and authentic with that question, I assure you, as a witness, as someone that can speak on it, there's going to be downloads, there's going to be people, there's going to be circumstances, events that's going to come into your life that basically is going to put you in position to make that happen. And it will be up to you, because you prayed and you asked for it. It'll be up to you at that point is to start using the gifts and talents that you have been given so freely to make things come the way that you want it to be. Case in point with Miss Yolanda, you heard her story. She's not on where she's at. Imagine if she would just quit and just listen to those inner voices that was telling her a bunch of nonsense.
Right.
Imagine.
Yeah. And
Man.
I just want to share right here because we've been through, all of us have been through many things that were, hurtful, that were painful, that were difficult, but that's life. That's
Yes,
part
ma'am.
of life.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
entrepreneurship and life are married,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And so business is also going to have its peaks and highs, and it's also going to have its lows, real lows.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The one thing that I heard a preacher talk about a long time ago is you have to become a really good surfer in this life because you're going to have to ride the waves. And I lived in Newport Beach, California, and I used to be, I used to do surfing when I was younger. And I remember there was those waves that I was like, oh my God, that's a huge wave. I'm scared of that wave. But when I took that wave and I rode that wave, I still made it to my destination, which was to not get killed, right?
Correct. Right.
So it's part of growth. Entrepreneurship is going to help, it's going to make you grow, whether you want to or not, because things are changing all the time. So the one thing that we have for sure in this lifetime is change. But even if it's hard change, I mean, you've been through a lot of stuff. I have too, and it's just a matter of saying, okay, this thing changed in my life. How can I make this better for me? Or how can I shift my energy to what I really truly want from this thing? And when that happens, creating whatever you want on the online space becomes simple. I have I don't know what it's called, but I love the principle, the KISS principle. Keep it super simple. If you just keep it super simple, you will not have to struggle to build a business online and to create an income, because that's why we're here for, right? We're here to create an income for our families. Right. So once you just make your life simple and your business simple, things will just start attracting themselves to you because nobody likes chaos.
Very true. Very true. Very true. 1,000%. 1,000%. Miss Yolanda, how can others get a hold of you if they want to find out more about you, be more so in your space, and glean from your wisdom and teachings? How can others get a hold of you?
Well, the very first place that I love Facebook. Okay, so y'all can find me on Facebook. I'm on all social media platforms, but the one that I spend most of my time in, I give most of my energy to, is Facebook. So just Yolanda Kennerly. You'll find me there. Shoot me a message and let me know that you were on here with us. And if you have a question, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. But I just want to share that you don't have to be on all platforms. I was on Facebook for about 3 years when I first started. Then when I felt like, okay, I'm making enough money on Facebook, then I turned to YouTube just to have another platform work for me.
Right.
right? And then I just started extending my seeds in other platforms. But my primary platform where you can find me is definitely here on Facebook.
And ladies and gentlemen, I would recommend for you to do so for a multitude of reasons, but the main reason is because, and this is the reason why I call her Miss Professional. The way she has her systems and structures organized in such a manner is very, very impressive. And again, if you're looking for a great coach, a great business coach, then Miss Yolanda, I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. And so
Thanks.
with that, yes, ma'am. And so with that being said, we're about to conclude here, but do you have any final words for the listening audience?
Well, I do want to share that if you find yourself in a place where maybe you're scattered, maybe you don't have clarity, maybe you have a passion to serve, but your nervous system is out of whack. Okay, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and no, I'm going to do that, and that's when you know that your nervous system is not in alignment to what you truly were created to do in this lifetime. I actually have a energy and client attraction course, okay? And I just want to share a little bit about it because when I started to learn about the foundational pieces of my business, what part of my body actually helps me to strengthen my business. Okay, so for example, the foundation of your business has a certain energy. The creativity of your business has a certain energy. The visual of your business, like your vision, has a certain energy. And so the reason when I actually hired a coach to help me to understand this better, because I had no clue what she was talking about when I first followed her, I realized that our whole body, because we are our business, right? On social media, you are the brand, right? You are the business. But if you are not in alignment to your business because maybe trauma happened to you as a child, maybe you went through divorces like I have gone to, through several divorces myself, and all of that energy is scattered. If you want to make sure that you are in alignment and then you can, create that business that you want to serve other people and show up in the most confident way, then I just want to share that that is available to you. And it's a minimal cost because I wanted it to be something that was going to help a lot of people, not just a few, but a lot of people that maybe don't understand how our body and our energy and our body affects our business, which we have actually talked about it earlier today as well.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Do us a favor, if you will. If you can put that in the comment section on how others can access that, that would be fantastic. Or would you rather prefer for them just to DM you and you speak on them like one on one? What's the best way for you? Or
Either
next?
or. What I can do is, I don't think I can comment on here. I'm not sure why, but I can send you the link, in the
Okay.
private chat, and then,
Okay.
if you want to, you can
Of course.
put it on there for them. And the reason,
Of
and I didn't come, believe me, I did not come here to offer anything for sale. What I came here is to share with you that being a heart-centered leader, it's you showing up as the authentic person that you were created to be. You don't want to be anybody else because you will turn people off, is what I'm trying to say,
Very
right?
true.
One of
Very
the
true.
things that I tell my husband, everywhere I go, it seems like immediately they want to put me in leadership, right? Like, for example,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
understand, right?
Yep.
And that's
I
because
do.
it comes within. When I go serve, I went to the community pregnancy center many years ago. I served there for 5 years, by the way. And I was just going. I said, I just want to serve. I just want to come here and answer phones. I just want to clean the bathrooms if you need me to clean them. I'm just going to here. I'm just here to serve.
Right.
Okay. I personally have never been like a teenage. I never had a teenage pregnancy, but I know a lot of women, young women do. And so I just wanted to serve. It was just came out of my heart. And so the very first week that I was there, I was answering the phones, and it's so funny. God has some funny ways of putting us in positions. And I said, I'm just here to serve and I just want to answer the phones and da-da. And the lady a week later said, Yolanda, I want you to open up the Hispanic side of the Hope program.
Wow.
And I was
Wow.
like, me? Like, what? Me? Like, she says, yeah, and we're going to pay you. And I'm thinking, I was doing this for free. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And remember earlier I said, if you love what you do, the money will follow.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a perfect example of that. So just go and give love to your neighbor.
You know what? I couldn't have said it any better than that, and so I won't even try. I will tell you that this has been a great interview and also very therapeutic for me as well. So you have definitely blessed me with your wisdom and being so authentic as well. So I want to say thank you first and foremost, Miss Professional, for that. And secondly, too, don't be surprised. I believe as far as I'm gonna revisit as far as on what you have, and don't be surprised if I be one of your clients. Don't be surprised.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Amen indeed. Amen indeed. So, what boys and girls, I hope that you got a lot out of this. This was truly absolutely amazing. Do us a favor, if you will. If you can go ahead and share this out, share it on your social media platforms, reach out to the individuals that you believe can truly benefit from this. Because one of the things which I learned in this industry is that when you share great stuff from individuals that are just like me and you, but they have made the decision to truly walk in their purpose and calling. The amount of impact that it brings is just absolutely tremendous. I've seen it time and time and time again. And so if you can do that, that would be truly amazing. On behalf of my guest here, Miss Yolanda Kennerly, affectionately known as Miss Professional, this is another episode here from Transformation Greatness, along with SB and the Small Business Network podcast, episode 545. The Certainly the podcast series has started off on a great note, and we're going to be moving as far as with that momentum as well. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So until then, family, if what we stated either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, then may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Take care.